Hello, good afternoon, everyone. Thank you for joining. We'll start in 5 minutes. Requesting everyone to please be with us. Thank you. Hello, Samuel Duffy. Good afternoon. Karan Dhabi, good afternoon. Can you hear me?
Yeah, good afternoon to you, sir. I can hear you.
Okay. So, waiting for other participants to join. We'll just wait for 5 more minutes. And then we'll go.
बंटी मिला क्या?
So, can we start? Colonel Dhapi,
Yeah, please tell me, sir.
shall we start the session, sir?
Yeah, I'm waiting.
Okay. Hello. Hi, everyone. Good afternoon. Thank you so much for joining. Today, we are gathered here for the technical outreach session of two of the challenges that would be opened on 18th of March. Those are UHF satellite Applique unit for software. Sorry. Requesting all the other participants to kindly mute themselves. So we are here for the technical outreach session for two of the challenges. One is of this 12 that's UHF satellite Applique unit for software defined issues. And the directorate for it is Signals DSO. And the next is for ADITI 2.0, that's anti-drone capability for Armoured participants. Directorate for DGA. We'll go ahead with the first challenge that is 12, and I would like to welcome you. Thank you, sir. Thank you for taking our time for this technical session. Over to you.
Request Gaurav from Combat and Ramit, please mute yourself. Request mute yourself. Ramit, kindly mute. Aryan, can you mute them?
Sure,
Yeah,
sir.
it's okay. Yeah. Yeah, Colonel Davi from DG's News.
I just wanted to request that I am unable to decipher because of the many mics which are unmute. So that was why I raised my hand.
Aryan, can you show the slide, please?
Sure, sir.
Yeah, this is the challenge statement, which has been reopened with the detailed description. There is no change in the specs. However, the description has been little elaborated. It is a UHF satellite applique unit for an SDR. The SDR is already available. However, UHF satellite applique has to be made. The details now can be given by DG Signals, officer from DG Signals. Kaldabi.
Yeah, good afternoon, everyone. Firstly, just to start with, in name itself, it says self-explanatory, in which it is what we are seeking is a applique unit for SDR, UHF SDR. So here 2 points which merit attention. Number one, there is already UHF SDR which is under procurement. So that is a something which is finite and very, I would say, in the advanced stages of procurement. What we are looking is, firstly, it is analogous to SAT sleeve. So, for example, I'm sure we are all aware that there exists a S-band SAT sleeve which, when connected to Android or any smartphone, allows the device to connect through satellite to another device. So, applying the same analogy back into UHF SATCOM environment, what we are seeking is an Applique unit which, correctly interfaced with UHF SDR, will allow these SDRs to communicate through SATCOM with another class of the same equipment which is in the same network having the same Applique unit. So for this remaining, like if you look at the para 2 of the fleshed document, so that is the introductory part. Now, what is required, like what is the space segment in UHF? So just for the information of the forum, there is a satellite which is being planned having UHF transponder as part of the space segment. So that will be the target space segment, and as part of the same, we will also be having a KU lower band hub in one of the designated ground stations. So, Colonel Mala, this is the outline information which I wanted to share. If there are any specific questions, I can take it on. But I am sure that with whatever introduction I have given, it should suffice to the basically the designing agencies who understand the concepts. Over to Colonel Mala.
Rest has been already given in A, B, Alpha, Bravo, Charlie, Delta, and Echo, the details of the description of the challenge. The forum is open for questions or any other clarifications required.
Yeah, so Colonel Mala, I would also request that we can have the same follow-up session tomorrow also. So that I wanted to book a prior that if should there be any doubt, we can even meet for 2 minutes only. But that will conclude the entire process that we have started today.
Okay, we'll include one session tomorrow with other challenges, space challenges. We include one more.
Yeah.
I request people who are joined with us for this technical outreach to just clarify their queries in case any.
Sir, Deepak Solanki this side from Wilmore. One question, sir. Looking at a S-band only communication, or are you also looking at KU? Because then the design methodology will be changed. So from our existing satellites, I think we have the S-band solutions in place. But is it?
Yeah, I got the question, and no, for the cost of repetition also, let me clarify once again, and my request to all designer agencies to please pay attention, because like at our end we prepare and then come back for the session. So this solution is a UHF SDR. Firstly, there is nothing to do with S-band, right? I just gave the analogy that there exists a solution in S-band which is known as SAT sleeve, which when connected to Android allows the device to speak to satellite. This is an analogy, first part. Now, what is the challenge based on this analogy is there exists a UHF, ultra high frequency software defined radios procured by Indian Army. So, by virtue of it being UHF, it is generally operating in a combat net radio situation. Hello. May I request if somebody can mute?
Gaurav, please mute yourself. Kindly, Gaurav, come back.
Yeah, I come back to my point again. As I was explaining, like this is an analogy that there exists a SAT sleeve, but what is required is that there is a ultra high frequency band software defined radio which is inducted into Indian Army. What we are looking for is an Applique unit, which is a sort of attachment to this SDR, which when connected and interfaced correctly will allow the UHF SDR to communicate using the UHF satellite. Am I clear so far?
Clear,
Or
sir.
any doubt till here?
Got the clarity, sir.
Yeah. So now moving on to second part, now the obvious question arises that where is the satellite and what is the space segment? So for that, I gave you information which is commensurate for this interaction, that yes, there will be a satellite with UHF transponder on board. So that will be the kind of a space segment available, and it will be operating in a KU cross UHF. So the
Understood.
hub to satellite will be KU lower, and terminal to satellite will be UHF. And for making the concept more easy, if you just like, since all of you are from the industry, so these Rafale aircraft, they are coming fitted with similar kind of UHF satellite communication, in which otherwise the radio sets are speaking with each other in CNR mode, but when required, they can always connect to any specific UHF satellites. So, Colonel Mala, this is what I had to submit. Again, I would leave the forum open for any specific questions.
Yes, here one question on the scope of this one. Generally, this application units antenna comes separately. So, is antenna is scoped? The expectation is right that this is only the up conversion and down conversion, and while antenna will be not part of the solution, or it is expected to be part of it.
Sir, I would like to draw the attention to the title of the challenge. It says Applique unit for UHF SDR. So, what we are looking for is the end-to-end solution for this concept.
Okay, and because we are not aware about the radio, so I assume generally for the radios to the applique unit, generally the cables are provided. So not sure whether the interface is something which is already defined from your side, that it will be RF coming out from the radios to applique unit, or some other interface you have in mind.
UHF SDR is already under procurement. So anybody approaching specifically with us, if some firm is at the advanced stage of participating in this solution, I request Colonel Mala, those can be filtered and we can give the interface details as well, sir.
At the email, and those who have particular queries, they can give it to us, and we will get the solution from get the reply from relevant nodal officer.
Sorry, not very audible. Could you repeat, please?
I said you can email to it. Aryan will give you the email ID. You can write your queries on the email, and we will reply to that after taking clarifications from the nodal officer.
Okay.
I've also placed one email ID on the chat. If you have any queries, you can reach out to me.
मैं सीधा आपको पकड़ लूंगा.
Just another thing which I want to remind us, we have launched these applications on 18th of March, and the deadline for these applications are 15th of April, and the portal will be closed by 5 p.m. So please submit your applications accordingly. Over to the next question.
Raveen Ranganath, do you have to say anything?
Yes, sir. I had two questions. So one question was, I think one gentleman just spoke that whoever has some kind of hardware, they can email separately, and then you could filter out and do the communication further. But I was wondering if there is a chance that we can develop from the beginning from scratch, or is it only for those who have some hardware in hand already?
No, again, as I told you, I never specifically mentioned whether I want a hardware, it is half made or completely made. Again, I go back to the title of the challenge. It says that what we are seeking is an applique unit for UHF SDR.
Mhm.
So you break this entire phrase into two parts. One is the applique unit, that is what we are seeking. What is UHF SDR? Since it is for UHF SDR, that's what we are already having.
Okay. Yeah, that part I understood. Like I was focusing more on the applique, the additional component that we are going to attach.
Definitely, that is what we are seeking. That is for which the challenge has been kind of opened.
Okay. So in that case, I have prepared a presentation and I would need a little more time to tweak and do the fine tuning. What would be the appropriate channel to send it? I know
Yeah,
recently you just emailed.
True, Colonel Mala. But sir, my ultimate aim of today's interaction is that I want to, at the cost of repetition, also I want to make all the participants understand the requirement. There should not be iota of doubt, right? So that is why I'm again and again telling what we are seeking is an applique unit, which when connected to UHF SDR, for which the interfaces are very well defined, is already procured, right? So it is nothing. It is not any. There is no, I would say, hypothesis on this. It's a defined thing. So the remaining thing is the technology. For that, again, I took a diversion and gave an example of S-band Satsley, which has got nothing to do with this project. It's just take it as an example that this is the concept, rough concept. So again, what we are seeking is an applique unit which, when connected to UHF SDR, should allow this SDR to communicate using SATCOM. And very close relative of this concept is existing in the Rafale aircrafts. So when these aircrafts are flying in a flying formations, they speak to each other using CNR, and which when changed to a mode, it can also basically take use of SDR. And basically, if there is some aircraft which has gone astray from the flying formation, can come back to the communication. So that is, precise, I would say, details, so that there is no ambiguity left in this.
Okay. Thank you, sir.
How to apply? You can stay back in the session. Once the technical officer is covered, we will give a general outreach in which how to apply, that we will tell.
So, Colonel Mala, my only request to the forum would be that my specific interest is to clarify the concept, whether it is at macro level, technical level, interface level. That is for what I am. Remaining all the formalities and everything, that will be looked after by Colonel Mala. That's absolutely no issue. But again and again, self and Colonel Mala are requesting that if you are having any conceptual level issues, then please do let me know.
I hope Kandabi has very clearly said. Karthik, you can ask your question.
So, thank you, sir. Good afternoon, everyone.
Yeah.
The specification that is required for the hardware unit, complying to the UHF SDR, that is going to work with it, are they mentioned in the document?
See, that's what I'm telling. In the first phase, what we are defining is the challenge, right?
Correct. So,
Now,
is it in generic, or is it specific to the UHF SDR that's being procured and developed already?
it is in specific to UHF SDR, which has been procured.
Okay, so that would have
See,
certain
I'll just
minimum requirements.
sorry to interrupt, but I'll just give you.
Sure.
I'd like to interrupt here. See, we can't have a
Sure.
generic challenge open, because if you look
Correct.
at it as generic, then that interface, maybe the question arises whether it is USB Type C, is it a RS-232? There is a lot many issues. It is not at all generic. It's a very
Correct.
specific to a equipment, right? It's not even class of equipment. So there is a
Sure.
defined device which is existing as UHF SDR, for which the procurement process has already commenced, right? So the interfaces and everything is very well defined. Means it is not at all generic.
Okay. Sure. So I wanted to understand the minimum hardware requirements that's mentioned in the document that we'll have to comply to. That's all. Unfortunately, I am not in possession of the document that you shared right now. Might be my partner.
See, even
So
if you
hence the
offer,
question.
even if you offer us one, right? Matlab, what we are looking for means it is entirely up to the designing agency whether you are capable of producing, say, 5 as a prototype or 5,000 as a prototype, right? My own
Sure.
again, like my open loop, my bracket open is to seek whether or not this solution exists, right?
Okay,
You just
sure.
go through,
Got it.
you can go through our website, and we will have a session also. Post this technical session, we will have a session. We'll tell how and what are the needs in applying for the challenge. The
Certainly.
challenge is generic. You have to apply the nitty-gritties, and the actual parameters will be only given once the HPAC is over. then we'll give you the exact details. Post
See,
that,
let me clarify once again that why we are interacting today is to understand that what is the question, right? Now, what is the format of answer, that is very well defined again. That is, I am sure the DIO is taking care of that thing. So my point is that I am absolutely having no ambiguity that like all the questions like how many PCs, what is the number of prototypes, those things are, though it merits kind of importance, but they are some or other way they are addressed at appropriate level. Again, my aim of joining this conference is that if somebody is having very pressing doubt on the conceptual technology and kind of interface sort of things, so either you can formulate a question which you can shoot later specifically to Kanal Mala, or you can post the question now in forum so that I can answer. That is what is my aim.
Sure. Thank you.
kindly all stick to the technical questions. How to apply, where to apply, we will tackle it at a later stage. We have already done an outreach section, general outreach section. We will again do multiple sessions. Please stick to the challenge statement, Applique unit for SDR. Any questions in understanding the brief, please shoot.
Sir, what is the frequency range of transmit and receive in this SDR, sir?
See, it is, as I told you, it is a ultra high frequency, so it is having a definite range of approximately. See, again, like I if I open up the spot frequencies, that is a kind of secretive in nature. But
Oh,
generic UHF frequency band, right? That is
yes.
it's a common source. Like UHF band, whether you look it in everywhere, whether it is an ITU 1, ITU 2, or ITU region 1, 2, or 3, it's very well defined UHF satellite communication frequency band, right?
Okay.
Assume spot X, Y, and Z. Means
Okay, sir.
that is again, like we all of us are in satellite business. We know that we are not supposed to speak our frequencies.
Okay, okay, sir. Okay.
But since anyone who complies, like for example, generic satellite, this is a very specific and I would say surgical product that we are asking. But anyone who is bidding for KU lower, all I have to tell you is that KU lower band is what I am looking for, the terminal. Rest everything is understood, because KU lower is defined by ITU. We know what is the start frequency, we know what is the end frequency, and there are I would say infinite number of frequency spots in between the F1 and F2. I hope I'm helping in deriving your answer.
Yes, sir. Yes.
If somebody wants to know the channel specification and everything, that I can tell you, yes, the channel width will be say 10 kilohertz. That means like if you take a center frequency, 5 on left and 5 on right will be the kind of the carrier width and transponder size and everything. But they are very, very specific question. When you reach to that ultimate level of producing something at the throughput level, that is the time you'll require all these things. It's no point loading with this information, though everything is available ab initio. If somebody is having very surgical question, I can answer that also within the realm of my confidentiality.
One more question on the follow-up. In the challenge, the encryption requirements and managed capability are also mentioned. I believe these are already would be part of the SDR radio which you have, and the rest of generally the Applique unit and rest of it is mostly the.
No, okay. I would like to interrupt here. See what is happening. Your partial concept is clear that yes, UHF SDR will have its inherent kind of encryption, right? It can be AES 256 or something. That is UHF SDR. As I told you, that the title is broken into two parts: Applique unit versus UHF SDR, right? So while UHF SDR may have AES 256 or something, but what we are looking for is that while connected, it can even be AES 256. But when it going to satellite media, then also the encryption is a must.
Okay.
So my recommendation on this question would be ab initio plan to provide a encrypted application. Whether or not, don't bother whether the SDR is giving you encrypted or not. We are not banking on SDR. Our focus challenge is the Applique unit and not SDR. Correct? Are we square on that part?
Yeah, sure. So I just wanted to clarify because many of the
Agree.
basebands
Yeah.
Generally is taken care, but you are expecting all of these to be available in the Applique unit.
Yeah. So answer to your specific question would be there is a requirement of encryption. Now, the related question, whether the SDR which is underlying this Applique unit, whether or not that is encrypted or not, that is maybe it's a don't care situation, at least for our discussion scope.
Okay.
Okay, sir. Okay, thank you for this thing. I had one more question.
Yeah.
So this is Praveen again. So I think I got more clarity from all the discussions that we are being having. So I have made a small presentation. I would like to talk to someone, like rather than just sending out an email or posting it on website.
There is a
Hmm.
process for applying. We will not shortlist any presentations and all. There's a process for applying. Committee will be there, which will see your solution. So at this stage, you can just apply. You
Oh.
can stay in the meeting till end.
Hmm.
Aryan will give a general brief how to apply.
Mhm.
You can apply there. Okay.
Okay, sir. Thank you.
Yeah.
So my only aim is that in the exuberance of kind of responding, what is important is that we are looking, as I told you, that there are set sleeves available only in S band and UHF band, maybe L band in some manner. I don't want to confuse the forum with anything else. Our specific focus is UHF satellite communication band. That's what, because it's a very niche field, and that is why I'm taking pains to repeat the requirements, so that when next interaction or whenever we are meeting next, at least there is no confusion at the major SD part. That's what my attempt is.
Hmm.
Anybody else in the forum who has a query on this particular challenge?
And Colonel Mala, I can assure you that as and when we progress in the ladder of this challenge, all information I am having, like I am at no point of time I'll discourage anyone to with any lack of information. But I think in outreach session, giving the precise kind of details is not
Yeah, I
appropriate.
agree
That's
with
what
you.
my
I agree with you. We have been doing the same way.
yeah.
Only specific queries we answer. Specific to equipment and other things are only disclosed once the winner is selected post experience.
Yeah, and when I give out this statement, I am also confident that at no point of time any of the participant will feel that because of that point spot information is not given, we are unable to understand. If somebody is having that feeling, please do open up now.
Okay, we had half an hour slot. I think we have 30, we have already filled 30 minutes. Any other queries? We will have another session maybe next week. As we had communicated this time, we'll communicate. We'll have a similar session with the nodal officer again, maybe after 1 week.
Uh,
Yeah,
Sorry to interrupt. I just wanted to ask, what about the problem statement 9 for training simulator for space activities?
ma'am, this is
Not
particular
related
challenge.
to this.
Not
Okay.
related to this.
Oh, so for particular this, the link will be shared later on, is it?
Yes, ma'am. It will be there. Anybody else for this challenge, particular challenge? Okay, thank you, Kandabi.
Yeah.
I'll again be in touch with you for outreach next week.
Yeah,
Post
see what I
actual
understood,
training.
sir, Mala sir, what I understood of this forum is that there are the participants who are not related to this particular challenge also, and that is the reason I requested that a subset of the people who are for this challenge, if required, we can connect up tomorrow as well. That is, if I
Yeah,
am understanding correctly.
in case I get some queries, we will connect.
Yeah, sure. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, thank you, thank you.
Thank you, Colonel Dabi. Thank
Aryan,
you,
over
Mani
to
sir.
you.
Thank you so much, sir. Thank you for your time. Thank you, participants who joined for this particular challenge. If you have joined just for the UHS second Applique unit, the forum has closed the discussion, so you can log off. If you're interested for the next challenge as well, I can't go capability for these, so you can please take this.
Yeah, good afternoon, Aryan. I'm Colonel Motial. I've logged in. We can commence with the next session.
Hi, sir. Good afternoon. Thank you, sir. Thank you for joining. And okay, so let's start with the next session. So I'll just give a brief about the next challenge as well. So it's one of the reopened challenges in nodal agencies in the Army. And the name of the challenge. I'll do one thing. I'll just share the problem statement that we have shared across the applications. Is my screen visible? Can anyone confirm?
Yes,
Yes,
it's
it is visible.
So we have the second challenge that we have reopened is for ADITI 2.0, and the challenge is anti-drone capability for armored fighting vehicles. We have Nautilus joined us as the directorate for this particular challenge, and without any further time, I'd like to welcome you, sir, and over to you for discussing the details of this.
Okay, good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. As all of you must have seen the problem statement, the requirement, if I may categorize, is for a anti-drone system, however, integrated with the existing 12.7 mm anti-aircraft gun of Tank T90. So presently, this gun is remotely operated by the commander of the tank, and there is no automatic detection, and it is because it is manually operated. So suffice to say, the response and operation or the function is as per the speed of a human. So what we are looking at, because it is not effective against fast-moving smaller targets, specifically like drones, so we are looking at a T90 platform-based autonomous anti-drone capability integrated with the existing 12.7 anti-aircraft gun. And obviously, it has to have 360-degree autonomous detection, recognition, and identification. The ranges have been given in the problem statement. It should have mechanism or function to alert the tank crew. It should have the function for autonomous tracking and prioritization. And because a 12.7 mm bullet or round will be less effective against a small target, especially an aerial target, so we are looking at fragmentation 12.7 mm ammunition. So this is what is the requirement. So in case there are any queries or clarifications that are required, they are welcome.
Thank you, sir. We'll open the forum for the questions.
Sir, I have a question. Are you looking at any specific technology for anti-drone system? It could be any frequency band, like can it be the microwave or the laser? Like, are you looking at a very specific one, or is it open for?
Okay, so the thing is that the technology or the specific technology cannot be defined without the options of solution. So what one must understand at this point of time is that whatever is the technology or whatever is the solution should cater for the threats. Secondly, it should be integratable or can be mountable on a tank platform. And there will be no additional power source or an external power source. The power source will be the tank itself.
Sure.
So within these parameters, the solution has to come out.
Sir, are there any prior fragmentation bullets that can be used in 12.7 mm NSVT? Have they been tested out earlier? And could you name some
there is no
some sources of?
Yeah, so there is presently no in-service 12.7 mm fragmentation ammunition. Had there been, we wouldn't have put it in the problem statement.
Understood, sir. So then moving on to the second part. So the remote control within the T90 has certain limitations because the motor control system only looks at prior set angles. So if I remember correctly, these are 0, 30, 60, and 90. And any angle in the middle is not achievable by the commander. So that's where our understanding lies. So can you please clarify? Because drones move at a very rapid pace and they are known to change their direction very fast. So in such a scenario, because we are limited by the direction of fire, how do you have any roadmap or do you have any contingency for mitigating sudden changes in the direction of the flight path of the drone?
Okay, so I'll just amplify on the present system. Okay, so let me just inform the forum. presently the system, there is a 12.7 mm anti-aircraft gun which is called NSVT. It is mounted on the turret or the cupola of the commander on top of the tank. This control, there's a kind of a joystick, if I may say so, that is the control handle. So that is what the commander moves to operate the gun. The gun operates in 360-degree azimuth, and it can fire in 360-degree azimuth. The push button is also with the commander with the control handle for the trigger, if I may say. Now, whatever there's a display unit on which the commander can see the area which is outside in the direction in which the gun is pointing. So this is what is there presently, and it is at 360-degree azimuth. However, the response being manual, so therefore the speed of response is presently not converging with the speed of a drone. Yeah, anything else?
Sir, I
So,
have a couple of questions.
Sir, I had two questions actually. Am I audible, sir?
Yes, please.
Yeah. The first question is the deliverables are, one is the DRI system. You basically need a system to detect target and detect, recognize and identify the target. And the second is the fragmentation ammunition in 12.7 caliber, right?
Correct. And also for the autonomous tracking, because the tracking of a drone is it is impossible to track a drone manually.
Yeah, I get it, sir. So second question would be about the 12.7 mm fragmentation ammunition. So when you mean fragmentation ammunition, it is assumed that some kind of airburst fuse or proximity fuse is required in the 12.7, right?
Yes. So generally the fragmentation ammunitions that come, so they have a safety arming device to prevent the round from bursting before it is intended to burst. And thereafter, the anti-aircraft guns, which the air defense also uses, the ammunition that they use, it has a safety arming mechanism. Only after a certain altitude that safety arming mechanism gives way, or based on proximity fuse, as you have also mentioned, proximity to the target, then the mechanism activates to fragment and destroy the target with the fragments rather than a single bullet hitting the target.
Yes, sir. I got that point. My specific question is about the fuse, having some kind of fuse. Either it is a airburst based on time, programmable time delay, or based on proximity. Either of those. All over the world, no one has been able to productionize a airburst or a proximity fuse in 12.7 mm caliber, sir. 12.7 mm, as you know, is 0.5 inches. So in calibers less than 20 mm, there has been no production version of these fuses. So
Yeah,
was
अगर
there
होता तो हम ले लेते ना. That's why the problem statement is there. Why do you have to always think no one has been able to do it? Why can't we be the first to do it? If someone had been able to achieve it, then we would have gone by global. तो हमने launch ही क्यों करना था ये project?
Yeah, I get it, sir.
मतलब बाकी किसी ने किया तो हम भी नहीं कर सकते.
No, I get it, sir. I get that part. The thing is that the miniaturization of the electronics as well as the fragments, the number of fragments, either if we can take number of fragments that can go into 12.7 would be very
This
low.
point is beyond. I know that this point is beyond discussion here at this stage. There's a problem. That's why there's the problem definition statement. If you are not able to find a solution, please don't participate. If you are able to find a solution, please participate. It's as simple as that. यार discussion थोड़ी करने बैठे हैं यहाँ पे.
Yes, sir. Is there any benchmark that you had?
Please don't mind my language. I will be cut and straight. Please don't mind my language. I will be cut and straight, yeah, so that we don't waste time of everyone else.
Yeah. Thank you, sir.
Sir, I have a couple of
Good
questions.
afternoon, everyone.
How much power we can draw, sir, from the tank for the unit?
See, yes, can you convey your question again, please?
Yeah, how much power that I can draw for enabling this tracker?
See, all this is available in the open source. I can't at this stage, as was brought out during the discussion of the previous problem statement also. At this stage, specifics of the equipment I can't share. However, I can tell you that all of these things are available in the open domain.
Okay, and so what is the maximum speed of the target that we need to track?
It is evolving every day. So you can look at the open domain, find the speeds in which the drones these days operate, and take it as a benchmark.
Okay. I have one more question. How many targets that we need to simultaneously track?
Can you answer that question? How much is it possible? No, I'm not joking. I'm also taking some inputs from you.
Yeah. So see, basically the hardware that I'm going to design, I need to design accordingly, right? So I need to know what is the maximum number of targets that I am trying to track at a time.
So so before I answer, my question is that as per your expertise and experience and knowledge, can you give me a figure as to how much is possible?
Okay.
If you can just give me an idea so that then we can come at a figure which is practical.
So at 5 kilometers of distance, as has been mentioned in the document, we need around 8 tops and a 4K video taken on a camera sensor with a resolution of 1 micron into 1 micron. We need around 4 tops. So this is a benchmark that we already have. That was on edge compute board that we have designed. So we need 4 tops from a 4K camera, so 8 tops on a 4K camera with a camera sensor 1 micron into 1 micron at 5 kilometers of distance. This was for aerial target. It's a benchmark. So now, if we have to track 5 targets at 5 kilometer range, then we multiply by 5. So that would be 40 tops of power, computation power.
40 tops.
Yeah. If we have to target, yeah.
So when you say tops, may I know what do you mean by that?
So it's tera operations per second. Essentially, how many calculations can be performed by the tracking algorithm? How many operations can be performed by the microprocessor in a given second? So, if it's 40 tops, that means 40 into 10 to the power 9 operations can be performed at once.
Understood. See, also what you have to understand that at 5 kilometers or 5,000 meters, that is the detection range. You have detected something, but the recognition range has been given us 3,000 meters. So only at 3,000 meters, if your system is following these ranges in the sense, then at 3,000 meters you will be able to recognize whether it is a drone or something else, or whether it is a friendly drone or an adversary drone. So maybe the requirement of tracking for the purpose of engagement may come after 2,000 meters when the identification has taken place.
Sir, I totally agree with your point that we can start tracking at 2,000 meters, but detection has to start at 5,000 meters. So the first mode of action starts taking place when we have an object of interest that may or may not be an object of interest, but we have detected something that it's in the air. It may be a bird we have detected incorrectly. It may be a false positive. So independent of that, we will be needing 40 tops compute if you have to track around 5 targets at once, or even detect 5 targets at once.
Okay. Also for detection, you will be needing 40.
Right, sir. We have to take into account the Johnson's criteria of the camera as well, which accounts for the camera parameters and the capability of how many pixels should the object occupy within a frame in order for the software to identify, in order for the software to perform DRI activities.
Shant here. So Shant, it's in simple words, no need for all these calculations. If I'm in space, I can destroy the entire Earth. If sunlight can reach to entire of the world, so this is the target that sun is fulfilling. Simple words, no more calculations. Am I correct, sir?
Yeah, so I will leave the technical part to the subject matter experts. Any other technical or operational or functional question related to the equipment per se?
Sir, I have the follow-up question on the previous question on is there only clear set of angles are possible for the gun, or is it tunable? I mean, is it complete freely turnable to any degree of accuracy?
Yeah, so as I said, the present gun can fire 360 degrees, can operate 360 degrees.
In steps of any degree, like 5 degrees, 10 degrees, like that, or
No,
is there any?
it is a seamless motion of 360 degrees. We can stop it wherever we go.
Okay.
But
Okay.
see, the thing is that those locking angles or locks जो है, it is, मतलब 360 degree you can take it easily.
Okay. Okay. Okay, sir. And the next question is that suppose we have the tracking solution and the identification solution, all this thing, and if you don't have this ammunition part with us, can we still apply for the project?
No, see, the solution has to be complete.
Okay, it has to come with ammunition also.
Because the thing is that there's no point tracking something which one cannot engage.
Okay. Now, can we control the existing gun itself through the? I mean, if you can give an automatic trigger option to the existing gun, can we control that through the tracker? Instead of manual control, we'll make it automatic control.
See, the human in the loop has to be there, because the final decision whether a fire, whether the gun should fire or not, the final decision will have to retain.
Yes, that is given. That is given. That is given.
So it can't be a fully solution, because right now the in the sense as per the the directions or the policies that govern, we have not graduated to a fully autonomous role where the decision of firing is also taken by AI.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. That control is given. Only thing is this will turn the gun towards the target automatically and wait for the human trigger. So that's all.
Yes, yes, correct.
So it will, that is possible, right? So that is
possible.
Okay. And is there any specific interface, bus interface between the control unit which turns the gun and the controller? Is there those specific details are available?
So those details are not available at this right now. The thing is that, as I said, that the control handle is operated by the crew member of the tank, and the signal from the control handle goes to the gun, where the gun rotates. So it's a gun. You may say that the gun is mounted on a hollow ring or a circular ring, and this base rotates, on which the gun is mounted on its own platform.
Okay.
So closer to the design and development of this, once the winners are declared, then obviously the exposure to the host equipment will be given.
Okay.
Sir, I have a question about the timeline of the project. So can you please give us a timeline, because miniaturizing any kind of electronics to the form factor that is desired within the project will require a significant time span. So do you have any timeline in your mind, or could you indicate any kind of timelines?
Armoured, you may comment on this, please.
Sir, actually, can you hear me?
Sir, I have a
Yeah,
question
loud and
here.
clear.
Is it mandatory that we still stick on to the 12.7 mm gun, or can we use something out of the box, like completely different setup?
No, see, there are okay. This is a pertinent question, and we are interested in this also. The thing is, there are different projects or separate projects which are going for with a different system. Okay, I will not be able to disclose the specifics of the system, but there are separate projects which are being considered not only by like my directorate, by other directorates also, and those projects are looking at separate systems and are not limited to 12.7 mm.
Okay.
There are if I may call it counter UAS or counter drone or whatever name you may give it, but there are other projects that are being progressed, which people are interested in by other directorates as well, which are not limited or not restricted to 12.7 mm. So there are those projects in which participation is also welcome and encouraged and invited. However, this particular PBS is restricted to 12.7 mm.
Okay, because why I ask this question is on a tank, and imagine if it's in a very close quarters or the drone is a very close range, it might not be enough time for us to maneuver. So a fixed solution, a complete cover solution might be a better solution. But yeah, we will still write a solution. I will leave it to the judgment of the panel to decide if that is fit. But yeah, from what I infer, changing the gun angle might not be enough time to respond to a very fast moving drone. So it might be best to fire, I mean, have a firing solution, a small, very simple firing device. I don't want to.
Yeah, so just to further amplify this, so this system works from area coverage or area protection to point protection, and so area protection will be not restricted to a tank platform or not restricted to 12.7 mm. It will be it can be a separate solution, and then there are if I may say, a smaller area protections, then they are also not restricted to a tank platform or 12.7 mm. However, narrowing it down to the point itself or to the tank itself, this problem definition statement has been prepared that in case we can find a solution with these parameters specific to 12.7 mm.
Okay.
At a point blank range, sir. That is more specific.
Pardon?
At a point blank range.
No, not at a point blank range. I will not qualify it as that. The identification range has been given as 2000 meters. So once identified, the engagement will take place.
Yes, sir. Yes. Thanks.
Sir, thank you for this opportunity. I have a couple of questions, if I may ask.
Please.
Sir, is there a requirement for a night camera?
Pardon?
Is there a requirement for a night camera in this?
Just a moment, please. Just a moment. It has to be day and night system.
Thank you, sir. Second question, sir.
You're welcome.
You have mentioned the fast moving drone and the DRI ranges are also given. Can you specify the drone size? Which drone size are we looking of?
See, I will not be able to specify a size because, as you're aware, drones are evolving every day. But you can look at the open domain and thereafter, apply a benchmark as to what is the smallest available drone right now, which you will be able to detect, recognize, and identify.
So that opens a very big bracket, sir.
हाँ तो आप उसमें ये देख सकते हैं कि मतलब within what is possible, what is the smallest size that is possible. मतलब obviously there are मतलब drones, you can say there are handheld drones with मतलब palm top types. If you are able to achieve that, nothing like it. But if you are not able to achieve it, then what is the size? 1 foot, 2 foot, 3 foot, 5 feet? कितना आप achieve कर सकते हैं? Because had I mentioned that I deliberately not mentioned the size, because had I mentioned the size, then I would have negated the lowest possible mean, which could have been, can be achieved, or could have been achieved, or someone may be able to achieve. So that's why I kept it open.
All right, sir. So you have time and again mentioned that azimuth coverage is 360 degree. That point is taken. What is the elevation coverage of the gun, sir? And what is the elevation requirement also? Because that will define the cameras.
Okay, so for detection, recognition, and identification, you will have to look at 360 degree and up 90 degrees. The gun itself goes all the, well, it doesn't go exactly 90, but you will have almost 90.
Okay, we are talking of elevation of around 90 degrees.
It is originally an anti-aircraft gun. So it caters for aircraft. So it caters for aerial targets. So you may, that's why we are honed on to it. It is already designed as an anti-aircraft gun, so it already caters for aerial targets. So aerial targets, as you're aware, 360 degree by 90 degrees, so it caters for that.
In case some modification is required to be done on the RCWS cradle of the existing setup, will that be allowed, or is it not to be touched at all?
So modification, obviously, when you're integrating a new system, some kind of modification will have to be done. So that as a overall answer, a modification will be required. It will be allowed. However, the specifics of the modifications, once they are studied, then what can be done and what cannot be done will be identified.
Right, sir. So one last question, sir. Already
Yes,
deliberated on this, that 12.7 mm ammunition is what is required. If it is not fragmented, will it still work for you or not?
No, we already have non-fragmented ammunition. We require fragmentation ammunition now.
Thank you, sir.
You're welcome.
Two questions.
Yes, please.
Yeah, one is the elevation is 70 degree and minus 5 degree depression as per the existing weapon system. 70 degree and minus 5 degree depression as per the existing weapon system. So we stick to that, or we want above that, as you said, 90 degree elevation.
No, so as I said that we don't modification to the to the cradle of the NSVT. The present azimuth and elevation of the NSVT is good enough. There is no change required to the basic the host equipment.
Okay, perfect. So second question is, you have asked for a fragmented ammunition. Proximity is a better solution, because in case of these swarm drones, you have to calculate the number of drones coming and then you have to fire.
Okay, but the ammunition, after the proximity fuse activates, the ammunition will fragment.
Yes, in my understanding.
I was not able to get it. There was echo in the sound.
Yeah, somebody is talking in between. So what I was suggesting, that for a 0.3 into 0.3 drone, a swarm drone which is coming maybe around 500-600, the rate of fire of your weapon system is around 700 rounds per minute. There is a belt of 150. So seeing all this, the fragmentation round should have a proximity time switch kind of a mechanism, which will be more effective.
No, agreed, but also one has to understand that if a swarm is coming, then this particular tank platform is also not operating in isolation. So it will be also operating as part of a, if I may say, group of tanks or formation of tanks. It will not be operating as a single platform. So because the one weapon platform will not be able to engage a swarm of 50 drones. Although it will be in time and space, it may not be possible. So this tank will also be operating as part of a formation of tanks. So just an input for consideration.
Okay, so the fragmented will be good enough.
There's two. Any other question?
No, thank you.
Thank you so much. Aryan, in case there are no more questions, then we can close this.
Sure, sir. Thank you so much, sir. Thank you for your time. And there are a few questions which are addressed on the chat. So if you have any further questions with regard to the application, how to apply any other queries, you can write down to me. I have put across my mail over there itself. Apart from it, the application process is also very similar, and the link is also being shared across the chat as well, from where you can find the application queries and apply for this and the ADITI development challenges. So, if there are no further questions, then we will close this forum for now. Thank you so much, sir, for joining. Thank you for your time. Wish you all the best.
Yeah, thank you so much. Then I will log off then.
Sure, sir.
Thank you.
Have a great day.
Thank you.